days has been amazing. We have been enjoying rains, and yeah, the rain has brought the cities to a bit of a standstill. But still, I mean, who doesn't love the rains, especially after the scorching heat and humidity that we have?
True.
And today we have with us Mridula Khanna Arora. She is a mother of a lovely 22-month-old. She is a passionate Instagram blogger, and she is also an artist manager. Post her, graduation diploma in human resources and honors degree from Delhi University in English literature. She has formerly worked. She has worked as a human resource professional with companies such as Bank of America, FIS Global, and different IT firms. So she started blogging a few months back in order to document her parenting journey, and then she started her own series called as what Ziva eats. Okay, what Ziva eats, and it gives her immense pleasure to share her parenting journey. So she is here to share her journey with her little one Ziva, and how she is preserving the memories that she has with her little one. And the most important thing, with the current pandemic going on, Mridula is here to share her journey of how she and her family dealt with COVID. So let us welcome Mridula. Hi Mridula, how are you?
Hi, thank you so much for such a nice introduction. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mridula, for being here. And it's wonderful that you have come forward and you have decided to share your journey of how you and your family battled this pandemic. You and your family battled COVID, because I have seen a lot of people who shy away from sharing their positive experiences, and that is one of the reasons why there has been a lot of rumors that have been spread in our society. So thank you so much, Mridula, for taking this initiative of sharing your journey with us. So
Thank
Mridula,
you so much. Uh-huh.
there is a saying that COVID is just a number until and unless it reaches your house. So how did you handle the situation when it reached your house?
See, to be very honest, it's just not a number. These people who we see in news and newspaper dying and, uh, really suffering because of COVID is no joke. They're all like human beings just like us. They don't have any special horns or are aliens. They all are human beings, normal human beings just like us. So it's just not a number. And trust me, it wasn't an easy phase for us because last year I and my bhabi, I have a joint family, so we both were positive, and now this year my daughter, who's 2 years old, and my nephews who are 12 and 5, they were also positive, and then eventually my husband and my brother-in-law. So many people at the same time, they all were COVID positive. It wasn't an easy phase. Mentally, it was really depressing, really a difficult phase for us, but with a lot of positivity and unity, because we are in a joint family, we just sailed through it somehow. uh, to be very honest, being a mother, it's easy when you have it on yourself or probably some other elder has it, but when it comes to your kids, it's really difficult to handle it because you can't see your child suffering. So it was a very difficult phase, but mm, we just sailed through it nicely. Thanks to God for that and all the
Yeah,
well wishes that people gave us. Yeah.
yeah, that's absolutely true, Mridula. What you said, when elders have any illness, it's easier to challenge, because
True.
one of the most important aspect is that elders can communicate. With kids, they find
True.
it really difficult to communicate. And with a 2 year old, I mean, my 2 year old was just with me a few minutes back, and I couldn't understand what exactly she wanted. Uh,
Right.
and when they are unwell, they are cranky, they don't understand what they want, and they are not even able to tell you that whether they're
Right.
feeling unwell, or they want something, they don't want something, because one of the symptoms of COVID is that loss of taste, and children are either way picky. They either
Right.
don't eat anything, and I mean, even when they have a simple cold, they do so much of. They are so uncomfortable to just
But
swallow a glass of
very
milk.
true. Very true. But
You know,
this particular phase of COVID wasn't that. It wasn't just about, losing your appetite or just losing your sense of smell or taste. It was really grave this time. Because what happened with Ziva was on 9th April, she started vomiting. It was like almost 8 to 10 times during the night. And then
okay.
later diarrhea happened. So it was a bit scary because I remember she's not eaten anything that she was not able to digest. And in 2 years, this has happened for the first time that Ziva puked. So it was all the more scarier for me that why was she puking? And after 2 days, my both nephews showed the same symptoms. And and on ninth, Ziva had fever as well, which shot up to like 101 degrees. It wasn't going down. So this time it
Okay.
was a pretty different sort of symptoms that I saw in kids. And then
Okay.
we thought that that must be diarrhea because these people might have taken, watermelon or something. That's summer fruit, right? So they were intaking that. But then we gave them, home remedies, tried to, figure out in case the home remedies might help these kids, but that did not work for us. Then after 5 days, 5 days, I called my doctor, thinking that this is, a normal diarrhea or a normal vomiting stuff happening to her. And then the doctor panicked as well, stating that, if you're strong, you take care of her at the house. Otherwise, there's an hospital in Delhi, you can take her there. Because
Okay.
COVID is really bad, yeah. And she was medicating her, everything was happening. So total off, and still there was no change. Like it was the vomiting, everything was persisting. There was no change in her health and my nephew's health. Then we changed our doctor. Then, after 2 weeks, all this stopped. Finally, after 2 weeks. So it was a long time. And
Yeah.
definitely they did lose their appetite and everything. And they lost some weight as well.
Yeah.
And, right.
Okay.
It wasn't
Uh,
easy.
yeah, it definitely isn't easy, whether it's elders or whether it's kids, because even
Right.
elders become kids sometimes.
Right.
Because of all the uneasiness that this disease brings. So, Mridula,
Right.
I have one more question to ask, and I'm sure a lot of mothers have this question in their mind, but they're very scared to ask this. That is when we talk about home quarantine and home isolation. So, when it is elders, you can isolate them. You just told us that you live in a joint family, so I'm very sure Ziva is very close to her cousins and all. So,
Right.
did you isolate them, or you tried to ensure that there was minimum contact, or how was it? Because with kids, see, with elders we can self isolate ourselves. We can keep
True.
ourselves in
True.
one room for probably
Correct.
3 days together. But with kids, it is next to impossible. At least as a mother, I think that would be the biggest challenge for me.
True.
So, how did you handle the situation during that time?
Uh, See, my husband and brother-in-law, they quarantine themselves in the lower floor that we have in our house. But
Okay.
with kids, it was just, I was about to come to that with kids, it was just not possible. They were staying with us, like with their grandparents, me and my bhabhi and their kids, like my nephews. So in a way, it was good also, dear, because they were happy playing with each other. There were times when they were pretty down, and there were times when they were so cheerful and happy. So so in a way, it was good that they all were staying together, the three of them, and they were already positive. So what would be bad than that? So it
Yeah,
was it was they were actually smiling when they were staying together. There was no point quarantining them, which is just not feasible in a family like ours because
yeah.
they are so well knit and so much in love with each other. So wasn't just possible with us.
Yeah, that's true. And even when children are in a positive environment and they are with the people they are
True.
most comfortable with, so
Right.
even the medicine affects your body faster when you're happy.
Very
So
true.
that is one point. And the other part is that Mridula, you have been in a joint family, but there are some people, some families which are nuclear families, and that has been a real big challenge. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
where the mothers have got COVID and they had to
Mm-hmm.
isolate themselves in a room. And what they had done was, I read about another parenting blogger on Instagram. So what
Mm-hmm.
they did was they kept a bedroom door open for a few hours, and they kept a huge table in between. And
Okay.
on one side the mother would sit, on the other side of the table the little one would sit, and they would converse. But they ensured that uh, there was communication. The child could see the mother at
Right.
least couple of times in a day,
Right.
even if it was for 5 or 10 minutes. So that is
Right.
also some condition in some
It
houses.
is, but babe, this can only work if your child is probably 5 years or above. I think for the little
Yeah.
ones, it cannot work
No,
because
no,
I
it cannot
remember
be.
last year, uh-huh,
Huh. Yeah, yeah, sure. Please tell.
like yeah, like last year, Ziva was on breastfeed, so I had to feed her. The
Yeah.
only way was I was putting on my mask and feeding her, and
Mhm.
you know. Quarantining myself completely all alone wouldn't have been possible because she was too little to understand that. And that would have
Yeah.
given me a lot of mental stress and a stress to her as well. So, a lot of anxiety would have played a bad role for both of us otherwise. If I would have quarantined myself all alone without Ziva. So, last year I and Ziva were quarantined.
Okay.
She was not alone. Like, yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
that
that's
ways.
absolutely true.
It purely depends on the age of the child, yeah. If your child
Yeah,
is like
that's
somewhere
absolutely
around
true.
5 and above, I'm sure the child can stay without you. But for little ones, it's really stressful
Yeah. Uh,
that ways.
so Mridula, amidst in between all this craziness, how did you handle yourself from not being discouraged? Because even when your little one sneezes more than 4 to 5 times in a day, a mother gets stressed. Any mother.
True.
So how did you handle with you told us she puked multiple number of times in a day. She had diarrhea, and there was a whole lot of confusion. How did you stay strong during this time?
To be very honest, I think family was one who was always supporting. The other was my doctor. I would really appreciate him for being there 24 by 7. Even if there was some stupid question that I had to ask, he was always there. And third would be, Instagram. I see a lot of content creators creating so much fun content during that time because that time COVID was at its peak.
Yeah.
Looking at their videos would really cheer me up. And
Mhm.
fourth would be meditating. That these things work for me, honestly. These things kept me sane during these
Yeah.
weird times that we had.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. A family plays a huge role in
Right.
battling something as a COVID, because you do need physical help, you do need emotional support, you do need mental support when you're handling
Right.
such a stressful situation. Uh,
Right.
so, with family members being unwell, I'm sure it did affect your own work and your own mental health. So, how did you ensure that it did not affect you to such an extent that you broke down? Because I tell you the reason for asking this question, because I've
Mm-hmm.
seen across a lot of same thing, Instagram bloggers, Facebook bloggers, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, the ones who have their own website, they just gave up their work post COVID, because I know COVID brings a lot of weakness in your body. You are too
Right.
exhausted. Uh, so a lot of women I know, not only bloggers but also in other professions, they were like, "Ki, no, I don't want to work." They were so stressed out during
Right.
this phase, mentally, emotionally, and obviously physically. So you will be drained because it is a disease that affects your body. How did you
True.
ensure that it did not impact your work or your mental health, for that matter?
True. Even I was the one who left blogging during that time, to be very honest. It just took a toll on me when I was seeing, people dying around. It was really a very difficult stage for me. I had anxiety pangs. I couldn't sleep for 2, 3 days. I won't be lying about it, but this happened to me. It was really a sad phase. And I got a lot of DMs asking, people asking for help, wherein I and my brother were in, touch with an NGO, and he was in touch with certain politicians who were helping us, to get people leads and all that. So we were sending them verified leads. And you won't believe I was speaking to the patients' family members at 2 a.m. also to ensure that they are in the hospital and they are safe and they've got a bed. So it really took a toll, honestly. There were two things simultaneously happening. Kids were not happy, not keeping well at home. And secondly, I see a lot of people dying around. It was really difficult phase, but somehow we pulled it off.
Yeah, that's absolutely great that despite having difficulty at home, despite uh, your kids not being well, you managed to help a lot of people. I think that's really
I wouldn't say that's help, yaar. I wouldn't say that's help.
it's
It's
not help, but at least
just
you
what I could do for them. It's nothing.
yeah,
It's nothing. Just nothing that I could do for them.
at least you
They
could
were
take the
not my relatives. They were not
yeah,
my
true.
friends, but I felt a human connect with all of them.
That's true because not a lot of people do listen to other people and their queries and all because
Right.
yeah, everybody has their own priorities, everybody has their own
Very
reasons for
true.
doing the same. So once
Right.
you said that within 2 weeks your the kids of the house recovered, so how was their recovery journey post those 2 weeks? Because I'm sure they must have lost quite some amount of weight, their appetite. How did you try to build back their health, or how was their recovery journey post those 2 weeks?
Right. See, to be very honest, all of them lost their appetite, the three of them. One is 12, the other is 5, and Ziva is 2. So all three lost their appetite. They were pretty choosy with what they were eating. And to be very honest, we gave them pasta, macaroni, because that's what they craved for, asked for, which is okay. That's once in a
Yeah,
while is okay. At least they were eating something. Then we
yeah,
gave them vermicelli. That's something they were cherishing and eating at least.
okay.
Dal, rice, they were not ready to eat any of that stuff. No veggies, nothing. And we gave them a lot of fruits, especially apple, banana, not
Okay,
the summer fruits like watermelon and muskmelon, because that would have, again got them back into diarrhea phase.
okay,
So just avoid all that. And we were making sure they're having a good amount of milk also.
okay,
And they were exercising, doing a lot of breathing exercises.
okay.
Kapal Bhati, they were doing that.
Uh-huh.
Ziva was not able to do that because she's too little
Yeah,
to understand that, but the other two were doing it.
okay.
And we were making sure that, at least for half an hour or 40 minutes, they are on the rooftop enjoying, fresh air. We were keeping our house well ventilated so that
Okay,
it's airy. Yeah, that ways.
okay. So that's a very good tip and something that I'm sure a lot of mothers can follow. It's okay to
Mhm.
just give up on their diet and ensuring what is healthy and
True.
unhealthy, because it's a phase where it is important that the kids just eat something instead of
Exactly.
going behind what is healthy and unhealthy. That
And
was a
you can
very
definitely go for options which is like wheat or millet based. Like you can go
yeah,
for wheat pasta, millet pasta, all
millet
that.
pasta.
So you
Yeah,
can do that, right? You can do that for them. Ragi is one of the options.
yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, or
Uh,
yeah, that is.
yeah, so Mridula, now coming back to the current hot topic or the latest question that everybody has been asking around. Have you been vaccinated? Two.
Yeah.
Okay. You took both the doses?
No, one. The
Okay.
other would I would get in July.
Okay.
I'm due for it in
And what
July.
about
Yeah.
other family members in your house? Like, any,
Everybody is vaccinated except for my husband and brother-in-law because they just recovered in April
okay.
end. So they
So
are
when
not
are they
vaccinated.
tentatively going to be vaccinated? I mean, is it 60 days or 90 days? There is a lot of confusion
There's
with
a
this.
lot of confusion, right? So we were thinking
Yeah.
we'll speak to our doctor about it. We have
Okay.
kept it as 60 days as of now, that at least 60
Okay.
days pass off and then we can get them booked and get them vaccinated. And even lactating moms can go for vaccination. I hear a lot of mothers getting confused whether a lactating mother can go for a vaccination or not. You can. This will definitely save you from this weird virus
Yeah.
that's gonna take a toll over your body and whatnot. Don't take that lightly. Go get yourself vaccinated. Even during menstruation, you can go and get yourself vaccinated. Don't think too much about it. This is not going to, change your hormones or, trigger any of your hormones. It's not going to play with them. It's for your good. It's an immunity booster, which will definitely help you, fight the disease. Yeah.
Okay. And pregnant women, they are one more. There is again a
No,
lot
they
of queries
cannot.
and
Right,
confusion.
right. But
Yeah.
they cannot take the vaccination.
Yeah. So that is what everybody's been talking about. So which vaccination,
True.
which vaccine did you take? Covaxin or Covishield?
I I took Covishield. I did not choose Covaxin
Yeah.
or Covishield. Trust me, both of them are effective. Both are meant to save us and protect us from the disease. So don't get into it that Covaxin is better or Covishield is better. And every body reacts differently to a vaccine. Like I had fever around 101 when I took my vaccine. And my Bhabi, she did not have fever. Even my mother, father here did not have fever. So it varies body to body. So don't get into it that Covaxin will give you fever or Covishield will give you fever and it is better. It's nothing like that. It depends on your body.
Yeah, that's absolutely true because I've seen a lot of people discussing that whether Covaxin is good, whether COVID Shield is good. They put up polls on their Instagram and Facebook
Right.
pages. So
See, to be
somebody,
very honest, uh
yeah,
we are in a phase like we are beggars. We don't that Covishield is better or Covaxin is better. Go for anything that comes your way. Yeah. Don't
yeah,
don't think about it.
and
You got your
ultimately,
vaccine done?
no, not yet. Uh,
Oh,
and ultimately, somebody put up a meme saying, "Ki just go and get wherever you get an availability," because vaccines were
very
getting
true.
over in a lot of centers. So it's like you don't discuss
I
whether
went
COVID or
very true.
COVID shield. It's like जो मिल रहा है वो ले लो. That is the
Exactly.
scenario how it should be.
My vaccine center was around 25 kilometers away from my house. I still went
Oh,
and took the vaccine because
okay.
you really don't have a choice. I heard that September wave is really going to be bad for your kids. So, we
Okay.
are going to be, the carriers for our kids in case we get infected or we can become a carrier and, get that
Yeah.
to our kids. So it's better all the mothers, fathers, everybody in the house should get vaccinated. And soon there will be a vaccine for kids as well, yeah. Very
Yeah,
soon.
yeah. It should come down in probably a few months
Yeah.
down the line.
For
That's
kids aging 2 to 17 years.
yeah. So let's see how is it going to impact the COVID and vaccine. But I really pray that none of the family members of
True. Very true, yeah.
anyone should be
Because
affected by the same. No family, no kid should be affected by the same. And let us all try
exactly.
our level best to maintain the hygiene and maintain sanitation and precautions. Mridula,
And
one last question.
educate people. Yeah, tell
Yes,
me.
and educate people. I have a couple of more questions. One, how do you verify the facts that you receive with respect to COVID? Because what has happened is this is something that a lot of mothers have been facing, and now
Mm-hmm.
people have been putting it up openly on their social media site. The moment you tell your family or friends that you have COVID, you have symptoms of COVID, so that, see, you tell them so that they keep distance from you. You need to
True.
inform the people whom you were in touch with in the last 10 to 15 days. The moment you tell this to people, the first thing they do is they'll bombard you with all sorts of remedies and medicine names and whatever they'll send you, all the WhatsApp forwards. 99%
Right.
of which are not true, 99% of which are fake. How did you distinguish the difference between both? How did you decide that, okay, this is something that I'm going to use, this is something that I'm not going to follow or not going to use? How did you bring out that difference?
Right. See, to be very honest, I don't believe whatever messages I get on WhatsApp. It's since ages I've made a rule for myself that WhatsApp forwards I'm not going to believe at all until they are properly researched by me or probably my doctor. So I've always been asking my doctor if any remedy is forwarded even by a family member. Because recently I got a forward saying that put, 2, 3 drops of lemon juice into your nose, and
Yeah,
you'll start breathing well, which I did not believe into. And I told
yeah,
my father-in-law and brother-in-law, everybody in the house, not to do that. I literally
yeah,
stood up and fought for it. No, you're not going to do it. Because, they were so anxious and panicky that they wanted to try this remedy.
yeah.
But you really believe something that's floating around on social media like that?
Hmm.
There's no authenticity of that message. If somebody makes a video like that, how do I believe who she is, right? Until there's an authenticity attached to that person, that
In
phase.
fact,
So,
a lot of people who put such videos on Facebook and Instagram are sadly people who are influencers. They are people who have a huge following. They are people who claim to be from the medical field, but we don't know if they are actually doctors or if they are actually medical practitioners or whatever it is. So that is one of the
mhm,
biggest risk, and that is one of the biggest reason why there has been delay in a lot of people getting treatment for COVID, in a lot of
mhm,
cases being identified, because people have been just wasting their time around trying these so-called home remedies or simple remedies. So what I personally feel is that instead of a WhatsApp forward, just pick up your call
right,
the doctor, do the
true,
test, spend some money
right,
if you
true,
can, and do the COVID card test. That would be simpler for you, rather than taking a
exactly,
risk of putting uh, lime juice or just not camphor. That was another
very
thing that
true.
making a
Was
huge
floating
amount.
around a lot.
Yeah,
Right,
so
right,
that is something that was even more risky for almost
right,
everyone's health. So thank you so
right.
much, Mridula, for
Same here.
for talking to us and for sharing your journey. I'm sure a lot of mothers would have had their answers clarified. I hope this session was helpful to a lot of them. Mridula, before leaving, if you could just share
Mhm.
your message or your thoughts with the fellow moms.
Uh, See, don't panic. Everything that happens for a reason, and trust me, everything has an expiry date. So this bad phase shall pass soon. Don't panic in case your family, friends, or your kids are infected. Just be strong, believe in your God, be united, and do as your doctor suggests. Please don't be a doctor yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mridula. The last
Same
sentence was
here.
the most important one, that we need to trust our doctors, and we
True.
cannot be doctors ourselves. So I hope
Right,
all
true.
the moms remember the same things. If you have COVID or you experience anyone around you showing some symptoms of COVID, do not panic. Call up your doctor. Don't rely on WhatsApp messages or any messages that are circulating around on social media. So thank you
Very
so
true.
much, Mridula, for this wonderful session. Thank you so much, Baby
Same
Chakra,
here.
for letting us have this wonderful conversation on your platform. I hope you all
Thank you,
have a great
Aishwarya.
day. Thank you so much, Mridula.
Great.
Thank you so much, Baby Chakra.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye. Thank you, everyone.